for Hot and Wow, call Domino's. Now.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dan Hicks in for Greg Gumbel, who's feeling a little bit under the weather, but the usual suspects are here, Chris Collinsworth and Mike Ditka. We'll get to them in a moment. But let's first check out some of the scores in the NFL today. It is Seattle playing Miami, and it has been somewhat of a surprise as the Seahawks in the rain in Miami without quarterback Rick Myers starting. John Freeze gets the call. On 3rd and 5 from the Miami 35, Freeze hits Galloway, who beats Calvin Jackson for a 65-yard touchdown pass, and Seattle was off and running 7-3. Now, this is the very next pass thrown by Freeze. Looking for who else but Galloway again. It's underthrown a little bit, but Galloway makes the adjustment, turns it into a 51-yard score, 14-3 Seattle. Meanwhile, Craig Erickson, starting in place of the injured Dan Marino, started slowly, but here he connects with Randall Hill on a 33-yard touchdown pass. They failed on the two-point conversion, so the score right now is 14-9 Seattle, and it looked like Seattle might run away with this early.
Yeah, it really did, and for Craig Erickson, everything that could possibly go wrong did go wrong in that first half. 4 fumbled snaps, really couldn't hold on to the football, but for the Seattle Seahawks to get the ball back in the hands of Joey Galloway, he has been absent in this offense for so much of the season, but in this game, of course, come up with all those big plays.
Well, the big difference, too, Chris, in the game, Miami doesn't have their running game, and when they can't run the football, it puts a lot of pressure. Erickson is under tremendous pressure. Yeah, he fumbled 4 snaps from the center, but he's been harassed on every time he's dropped back, so if they don't protect him, it's going to be a long day for him unless they get the running game going.
All right, let's check some scores out in the NFC, and we'll begin in Minnesota, where the Panthers at 3-1 playing the 4-1 Minnesota Vikings. Warren Moon has a touchdown pass, 5 yards to Chris Carter, as the Vikings have the 7-0 lead. Green Bay and Chicago in an NFC traditional central battle, and it has been all Green Bay. They have the lead 20-3. Brett Favre has 3 more touchdown passes. He has 19 for the year. The Patriots taking on the Baltimore Ravens, a couple of 2-2 clubs. The Patriots with a 17-14 lead, and there is Johnny U, the former Baltimore great, on hand. Vinny Testaverde, though, handing off to Ernest Biner, who motors through traffic for a 4-yard touchdown. Baltimore had the 7-3 lead. Drew Bledsoe taking the Patriots, though, on a 92-yard scoring drive under pressure, finding Sean Jefferson, who makes his very first touchdown catch as a Pat, a 7-yarder, 10-7 New England. Baltimore right back. Testaverde finds Michael Jackson, 5 yards in the back of the end zone, 14-10 Baltimore. Bledsoe then takes the handoff and throws to Ben Coates for a 2-yard touchdown as the Patriots go back on top, and they lead it. The score is 17-14. Now the Oakland Raiders and the New York Jets, just 1 win between these two teams in the game that you're watching, and the Oakland Raiders have a 13-3 lead on the Jets. And the Jets without Keyshawn Johnson, Chris, that was a big loss for them, but they're also without Neil O'Donnell.
Neil O'Donnell, their entire defensive line has been hurt. This is a team really decimated by injuries. They've been hurting the linebacker core as well. But the big thing for the Raiders in this ball game is they got back to their running game. I think that's what the Raiders have traditionally done well. They're doing it again this ball game, taking some pressure off of Jeff Hostetler.
This is Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong. They lost Webster Slaughter also. Their receiving core is down to nothing. You know, for them to win this football game would take a miracle. I don't think they can do that. And, you know, it doesn't take a miracle to beat the Raiders, but today it might.
Well, the Jets could be on their way to an 0-6 start. One other score to fill you in. Atlanta is 0-4. They're taking out the Detroit Lions, and it is Detroit up by a score of 28-6 now. Scott Mitchell has a couple of touchdown passes. He has also run one in as the Lions are up big over the Falcons. We'll talk about one of our big 4 o'clock games, Indianapolis and Buffalo, as we hear from Bills head coach Marv Levy. We'll get to that after these messages from your local station.